Good afternoon, everyone. It's Rob here again. So after leaving my last spot, decided to do a little bit of beach camping. Was just having a look on an app and seeing where I could go. There's heaps of inland spots, but you know, where I'm on my side of Melbourne, Victoria, you can't actually do much legal beach camping unless you pay for caravan parks, which I don't really want to do. Anyway, after driving along, I don't know how long this road was, at least 10 kilometers. I think I passed about 11, 12 campsites until I got to the one that I'm at now. So let's flip the camera. I'll walk back a little bit. So this is the actual campsite. Pretty narrow to get in, but with most cars you should be fine. No dogs, no riding horse. And the last one, you don't litter, obviously. This one is Camp 12. So I was almost right. I said I drove past 11, 12 campsites. I am on Camp 12. So it's sandy. Obviously, it's right next to the beach. Somebody else has already set up a spot for me here with so that should be fine to start a campfire in later, which I'm hoping to get a pretty big one going as long as it doesn't rain. Last night it wasn't the greatest. Setting up in the pavilion, or setting up my campfire in the pavilion, but it kept me warm. That's the main thing. I do prefer to do them on the ground though. Anyway, just taking a stroll down to the beach. So it's not right on the water, but I'm not too concerned about that. It'd be very, very cold if I was camping right on the beach. I don't have a problem with being cold, but with tides, I don't want to camp too close to the water. That sea spray is freezing. So I'd rather avoid all that, and I'm happy to camp right up there. Right, let's continue down, and it actually looks pretty good down here. Let's see if we can see anybody else down here on the beach if I look in the distance. Wow. No, I can't see anybody else. I can't see anybody else at all. Usually when I go to the beaches down in Melbourne, the sand, littered with seaweed, littered with, I don't know, shells. I don't see... Yeah, it's just so... It's not coarse like how it is in Melbourne. That's the word I'm looking for. But I'm sure if I touch this water, I don't expect it to be very hot. Let's have a look. No, like I thought, it's freezing. Yeah, so I wouldn't want to head into the water unless I had a wetsuit on. But times like this, I'm glad I'm not a surfer. I feel like I'd freeze my butt off. So anyway, that's the walk down to the beach. So if any of you guys have ever thought about going camping, thought it would cost too much, thought, oh, I need a 4-wheel drive, I need top quality equipment, that's not really the case. For years I've gone camping with just the bare minimum, and I'll prove to you guys tonight it can be done. Very cheap. Chair, Bunnings, $5. Cheapest one you can get. It's lasted me for years. I haven't had any issues. However, I got this for Christmas, and going forward I'm probably going to use this. It's actually a fishing chair, not that I do much fishing, but it's comfortable. As for your tent, look, tonight I'm going to use a 3-person tent. This is just from Kmart or Big W. I think it costs about $29, so it's not super expensive, but I'm not sure if they actually sell these ones anymore. The last 2 nights I've been using the same brand, Hinterland, Kmart, Big W, one of the two. It was a 2-person tent, so I'm not sure if they're still doing this. You'd have to look on their website to see if they are. As for the mattress, look, single mattress, single blow-up mattress, especially on soft ground like this, you're not going to have any problems at all. However, if you are using a blow-up mattress like that, buy one of these. Similar price. I think the mattress was $7, this was $5 or $6. So $13 to get you asleep on a nice soft bed. First things first, let's get the tent out of the tent bag. Tent all rolled up, fit back in. Work out where the door is, which way you want to be facing, north, south, east, west. Now, your poles. Very, very easy to put together. I don't even think they have instructions. It's that easy. Whoop. Oops, almost lost it there. Sort them out. Got a pair, so 2 poles, and all you do, find the end with that little black foot, and literally put the silver part into the black part, and you're on your way. Look, it's very, very quick to set these up. There's not much to it. All we do now is walk over to our tent. You'll see there's little slots for them to fit in. So just slide them through, over the top, through the little loop on the top, and down the other side. Fed it through halfway, and now the little loop right on top. Okay, that's one side done. Just make sure you do put it through the loop. If you don't, it's not a huge issue, but I always like to get it through the loop so it gives it a little bit more stability or height throughout the night. Okay, so that didn't take long at all. Now all we have to do is put the tent into the little holes in the corner. Put the tent poles into the little holes in the corner. And a little trick to do it is the pole that you just put in last, do that one first. Believe me, when I first started camping, I struggled and I cracked it. But the tent pole that you just fed through last, put that one up first. And there you have it. Successfully set up the 3-person tent. All you have to do now is really just peg it into the ground, and then you're ready to put all your things in there, pump up your airbed, and go to sleep if you want to do that first. Okay, so now it's time to set up this airbed, which is very simple. I'll get my pump first. Inflate, deflate. Get the tube with it. Put it into inflate, obviously. That's what we want to do. Roll your mattress out inside the tent with the blow up, the part where we put the air in and out, near the exit of the tent, obviously. Okay, so now's the fun part. I have to stand here blowing up the tent with my foot pump for about 10 minutes. I want to time this. I'll time it on the video and just see how long it takes. I'll try and fast forward it if I can. No one wants to see me pumping up a tent mattress for 10 minutes. Okay, I feel like I've just worked up a sweat there. It didn't take as long as what I thought it did. Sometimes when I pump up in the past when I pumped up my queen mattress or my double mattress, it just feels like it's never going to blow up. Anyway, that single mattress, it didn't seem like it took too long, probably 2-3 minutes. So over the last couple of days, it's been raining pretty full on. It's actually stopped now, which is I'm happy about. I'll be able to get a fire going tonight, and I'm gonna make it a pretty darn good one. So I was washed out. All my tarps, sleeping bag, you name it, that was all all wet. I dried out the sleeping bag earlier today, so that's fine. As for my other equipment, so my tarps, they're still wet, but they'll dry quickly, especially in the sun there. You got my two-man tent. So on this trip I came for, 10 days or something, so just to be safe, on the safe side, I brought my 3-man tent as well, and I think it was a good option. It was a good idea to get that. Anyway, it won't take long for all this equipment to dry out. I'll pack it back up, put it in the car, and then I can use that hopefully when this one doesn't get washed out. But yeah, I can just flick between the 2-man and the 3-man setup. I don't mind. I'm only by myself here camping, so I don't need the extra space. Earlier on, I didn't speak about what to use as your bedding. And this is probably a video about cheapest options. For a long time, I just came from home with a doona, standard pillow, and if I thought it was going to be cold, or just to be safe, just bring an extra blanket. With the blow up mattress, the foot pump, a cheap tent, it's not a very costly thing to do. I think it's just people see all these shows online or on free-to-air TV They've got all the top quality gear, you know, off-road vehicles. You don't really need that to go camping. All you need is yourself, yeah, or yourself and a few items, or a group of mates. If you can go with a group of mates and that's the only thing that's holding you back, you know, maybe try and convince them. Show them this video and say, hey, look, it's not going to cost us too much to go camping. You know, all we got to do is find the spot. And you know, it's not too hard to find a camping spot. Just have a look online, Google camping near me, free camping near me. You don't even have to go to a free camping ground. If you want to have a little, you know, some amenities, hot showers, electricity, power. If you want, most of those places will probably be near a town and have reception. Okay, time to get the fire going. Now, pretty simple. All you got to do is find a campground that allows fires. If they've got a pit, use the pit. If they don't, you know, you can also buy fire pits online or from your local hardware store. Fire lighters, they're going to be your best friend when starting a fire. All they are is just, I don't know, little cubes. Pop them out. Some of them you don't even have to pop them out, you can just break them apart. I think they're about $2.50 for those cheaper options where you just break them apart. All you got to do is light them up, throw them in the pit. Go, they light. Beautiful. Now, as for the timber, with these little offcuts, I just picked them up for free. You can find them on Facebook Marketplace. Just look up firewood. A lot of people just say free firewood. In industrial areas, you have offcuts like these just lying around out the front of businesses. Even some places that make pallets, yeah, they actually just leave out hardwood pallet, a whole thing of hardwood pallets. So you can get wood for free. That's good for kindling. As for the hardwood, I usually just go to Bunnings and buy a couple of bags of these. I think they're $16-ish each. So if you're going for a weekend, look, 2-3 bags, depending on the weather. If you've got the fire going all day, over 2 days, saying it's a cold weekend, you may need more, but you know, just assess it. Just assess the situation. Don't go overboard and buy 10 bags of wood, you know, or a whole trailer load of wood if you want to buy it bulk on Facebook Marketplace. You know, don't buy a square meter of wood if you're just going camping for a weekend. Unless you've got a fireplace at home, then that's fine. You can go ahead and do whatever you like. Anyway, these shouldn't take too long to catch. These little offcuts, they just burn like that. Once we get some nice embers going, we'll throw on some hardwood, some redwood, and yeah, hopefully the fire gets roaring tonight. So seeing as the fire started, we're losing light and I'm getting pretty hungry. I thought we'd start cooking some food. Got one of these Master Foods recipe bases from the shop. So deviled sausages serves 4, so I don't know if I'm going to eat all this. I might just halve it. Eight sausages. I don't think I'm going to eat 8, so I might just halve the ingredients and hopefully it works out okay. Alright, so what do I need to do? So some diced tomatoes, onion, green apple, and my sausages. Alright, shouldn't be too hard to do. you know, it's good to try something new when you're out and about. Better than just your standard sausages that you have when camping. Or like earlier on today, I had in the last video, just had some Campbell's soup. You know, that's fine to do, but sometimes you just want to have something a little bit different. Alright, so there's my onion. Plate. Throw that onto one plate. I didn't halve the ingredients for the onion, so this is probably going to be way too much. Alright, so there's my onion there. Now, my apple peeled, cored and diced. I do have a peeler. So, alright, so there's my cored apples, cored and diced apples, my oddly cut onion. Next step. Heat oil in pan and cook sausages until brown. I'll clean all this up a little bit later once I get some free time. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Just move my makeshift chopping board out of the way. And bring over my cooker. So this one's different to the one I used earlier. The one I used earlier was the Furno 360. I think I got it from BCF or Anaconda for about $26. This one's a Campmaster stove. You can get ones that are half the size for about $20. This is the double, and I'm pretty sure this cost me $50. But you know, we get a lot of use out of it, as you can tell. They're pretty hard to clean because you have to actually take them apart, unscrew them, blah 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 blah. So usually we just use it, pop it back in, use it, pop it back in. But it always does the job. It never seems to die on us. All right, let's get these sausages cooked. Whoop. Dash of oil, a little bit too much, but that's all right. Yeah, like I said, serves four, but needed 8 sausages. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna halve it. Even 4 sausages is probably too much. Alright, so once those are cooked, I'll shoot the camera back around and we'll get to the next step. Okay, my sausages seem to be done. So, going by the recipe, it says to just slice them up, cut them up, slice them up. Cut them into pieces. I'm not I see the picture on the box. I'm not that skilled to slice them on an angle like that, so I'm just going to cut them into pieces. so it should, as long as it tastes good, it doesn't matter how they're cut, in my opinion. So a little bit about me. My name's Rob. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I live pretty close to the city, probably about 10k, 15k from the CBD. And you know, most campgrounds outside of the city, well in Melbourne anyway, they're probably about an hour drive to the closest one. To me. Maybe a little bit longer. So it's a bit hard to get out sometimes. Well, I still manage, you know, I try to go out every couple of weeks. Sometimes I go to the same place, sometimes I go to different places. Just if you're thinking of going out though, you don't have to go miles away. You don't have to go drive 3 hours from the city. Like I said, an hour, depending where you are. It could be an hour or an hour and a half to your closest campground. Caravan parks close to the city, I don't recommend. It's the whole experience is not there, and the type of people you get in there is probably not the type of people you want to hang around with when you're going camping. Just brown off these onions next. So, like I said, my name's Rob. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. So, when I got into camping, I was actually 18. I went down to Lawn for schoolies, which is something different. Didn't grow up going camping with my family, but I went down to Lawn for schoolies and decided to stick around, hang around the town, met some good, really nice people, really cool people. And I stayed there for about a month and a half. I just camped at a local campground up there. It used to be completely free. Now, I believe, where I stayed, you have to actually pay all along that area. There's a fee to camp there, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, local councils have to make their money. Parks Victoria, who run all the national parks in the state, they have to make some money. So it makes sense, you know, to maintain all the campgrounds. So, you know, if you go somewhere, check before you go if there's a fee. Otherwise, you could be facing a fine. But anyway, back to where I was going. That's how I got into camping. Just after schoolies, I decided to stay in Lawn for a month and a bit. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing that, and it's just branched on from there. I still use the same kind of gear that I used back in the day. I don't go out and buy really extravagant items to use for camping. Still just use a 2 or 3 man tent, you know, blow up mattress. I've tweaked it here and there. I've got a sleeping pad, which is pretty good, or a sleeping mat, whatever you want to call it. I do enjoy using that. That's pretty new to my kit, which I'll show you on this trip as I'm going along. Okay, my onions are browned. Going by the recipe. As long as everything works right. Add sausages. Add my diced apples. My tin of tomatoes. And look, seeing as 400 grams of tomatoes was supposed to be for a serving of 4 people, I'm not going to bother halving it. I'm just going to put the whole lot in. Even the recipe base, and just see see how it turns out. I mean, it can't go that bad, can it? As long as it's edible, I'm happy. So yeah, this trip so far, it's pretty... Alright, let's fiddle in with the GoPro. This trip so far, it's been pretty fun. Even though I'm by myself, you know, I can honestly say I've been having a really good time. My first video, I was a little bit nervous, just talking, even though I'm pretty much just talking to myself and just feeding it through the camera to you guys, but you know, it's one of those new experiences, I guess. You're not used to doing something. At the start, it kind of becomes, you know, it's kind of, how's this gonna go? Am I gonna get judged? But nah, doing this second video, I feel a lot more comfortable. It's my second day, second video. So I hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. I do hope the camera quality is good as well. This is the GoPro Hero 10, so it's the latest one. And for the audio as well. I'm not sure how the audio is going to go. I can't feel the wind. It's being blocked out by all the shrubbery just behind me. So any wind that would have whipped up straight from the bay, it's probably being blocked out by that, which is a good thing for us. I'm just going to assess if I need to get another camera, have a second camera, something with a bit of a, what do you call it, just sound reducing, so it only hears me. It buffs out all the wind or background noise that we don't want. But we'll take it day by day and just see how these first few videos go, and once they're uploaded, what people think of them, and I hope it's positive. So the sauce is thickened up. I doubt you'll be able to see it. It's a little bit dark at the moment. Just have to do a little bit of tweaking on lights and whatnot. I'll just give it a little bit of a try and just give you my take on this Master Foods pack. It's actually, I rate it. It's a little bit of prepping, you know, more than what I usually do when I go camping. Usually it's just throw the sausages straight in the pan, cook them up, bit of bread, tomato sauce, and off you go. But no, this is actually not too bad. I think the apples are pretty good. They're not crunchy. A little bit crunchy, but not. They're softened. That's the word I'm looking for. They're actually softened. But it looks like this will be a good meal. This will feed me 4 sausages and then all the other ingredients that were supposed to be for 4. But hey, I'm not going to let any go to waste. I'll eat all this. Alright everyone, so I had the fire going pretty well. It's pretty much died out now, so I'm going to head to bed. Tonight, it's not too cold at all. This sleeping bag's rated to -8. It's definitely nowhere near -8. It's probably outside temperature. Probably feels like about 15 degrees. I can walk around in a t-shirt, so it's not too cool outside. So I'll be using this as just a kind of a blanket tonight. Okay, so I made the call. I figured I'm not going to film breakfast, just a toasty and coffee anyway, so there wasn't much to say earlier. I'm just gonna start packing up the tent now. It's pretty much the exact same way as setting it up, just in reverse. So take out your pegs, which you put in last, take out the little feet that we put into each corner of the tent, and then thread it through the loop, through the other end, got your poles out, flick them down, put them in your bag. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I'll go through it now. It shouldn't take too long to do this. The hardest part is probably just fitting the tent back into the bag, which always seems to be the way whenever you get something new. You can never seem to get it in the same way as the way you got it. But as long as it fits, that's the main thing. And there's my second tent pole done. Alright, so this is no different to folding a doona pretty much. A lot easier if you've got a second person, but seeing as I'm only doing it by myself, I'll do the best I can. So all we want to do is grab the corners, meet it with the other corner, do that again, fold it again, fold it over again, do the best you can, and I might as well do it one more time. Just squeeze all the air out. So it doesn't look 100% square, but that's fine as long as I get it in the bag. And now just tuck it in and roll it up as tight as you can and just squeeze all that air out. Okay, it's not too bad. Let's see how we go getting it into the bag. Unzip that. Oh, looks like somebody wants me. I'll call them back later. So that fits in the bag fine. Get my tent poles. Slot them in the bag. Roll them on top. And just zip her up. Done. 3-person tent put away. And that didn't take too long at all. So that's a good thing about these two pole setups. Don't take too long to set up or take down. Once you start getting into the 5, 6, 8-man tents, you're gonna have multiple compartments, multiple poles, so you're gonna need a few friends to help you set one of those up. But just read the instructions and you should be fine. I mean, I've done it before with my brother and mates, so if we can do it, I'm sure anyone can. Okay, yesterday I didn't get much of a chance to go for a walk around besides down to the beach. So now that I've packed everything up, taken all my rubbish with me, left it probably better than what it looked like when I got here, which is what you want. I want to keep these places nice and clean. Got this path over here. I just want to see where it leads to. If there's any more campsites around the bend or it's just an exit. We'll have a look. get the odd car or two come past. While I've been here, I feel like I've only, even during the day today, maybe only 1 or 2 cars every 30 minutes. So it's, well, this time of the year obviously it doesn't seem like a very popular place, but I was reading some reviews on this campsite in summer. From some of the reviews I read, this place is absolutely chock-a-block. You'll be hard stretched finding a campsite, even with all these extra campsites. This is campsite 12 still. So the ground isn't as nice as where I was. I was actually on some grass. This is all just sand, dark sand. But it's still, so it must be every campsite around here, 1 to 20 or however many it goes up to, it must have 2 entry points and 2 separate sets of campgrounds. Yeah, there we go, campsite 12 as well. See if we can get a, is there any traffic? No, none at all. Yeah, so this place is quite quiet at this time of the year. We'll see how, well, I'm not going to be here, but this long weekend coming, long weekends in Australia are always massive times for camping. So I'm just going to head down to the beach one last time, see if anyone's down there before we take off and go to the next spot. Okay, so I'm back down here on the beach. You can see behind me. It's pretty rough today. But like yesterday, there's no one else here. I do see heaps of footprints on the sand. Looks like people have been walking their dogs along here, which is okay. You're allowed to camp at certain campsites along here with your pets. In terms of camping here, this place would be really good for families, you know, especially if you love coming down to the beach, going surfing. Just be pretty careful of this water. It looks pretty unforgiving. You don't want to get sucked out there, because I haven't seen any signs, but I'm pretty sure there's no life-saving service along this section of the beach. You'd have to actually go to the main beaches near towns. But look, it was a good experience, a nice night. So I'm not knocking the place, just if you're going camping by yourself, there are better spots. But if you're with a group of friends, the weather's warmer, you can go into the water. I see no reason why this place can't be a top spot.